Welcome to our streaming set. In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to get online right now and start streaming. The easy way, the professional way, and then the ridiculously complex, stupid way. That's the way you stream. Today's video is brought to you by AC/DC's Photo Studio Pro. If you're tired of spending that incredibly expensive monthly payment to Adobe every single month, but you still need a way to edit your photos, definitely check out this software. For the average photographer, this software has everything you need, and in some cases it actually has more features than Photoshop. For example, it has the ability to recognize faces automatically, and it makes it really easy for you to categorize images. It's almost like a Lightroom and Photoshop in one. Now, like I said, this software is incredibly affordable, but you don't have to spend anything right now. You can go to the link in the description, check out the 100% free trial, and then if you do decide to buy it, you could either go month to month for the incredibly low price of under 10 bucks a month, or you could just buy the software outright. It's completely up to you. Now, technically, you only need 2 things to start streaming: a video camera and a microphone. And most smartphones, tablets, and laptops already have those built in, so you can start streaming right now on YouTube with what you already have. Just click on the Create a Video icon in the top right of YouTube, click Go Live. On the next screen, click Webcam. Let your browser have access to your microphone and webcam, and you're ready to go. Of course, with this setup, it doesn't look very good. It also doesn't sound very good. So you're probably gonna want a video camera and a microphone. Now, I have 2 different microphones to recommend, and they're both very affordable, and they both happen to be made by Rode as well. First, the Mic Ntg. This is one of the most versatile mics currently on the market. This thing can plug into a camera or into a computer. You could use it off frame as a shotgun mic, or you could get it right next to your mouth in the frame for that podcast sound. This mic is incredible for the price. If you're looking for a lav mic, something that you can clip to your shirt, that's what we've decided to go with. Check out the Rode Go Lav system. It's just 200 bucks. You can use the transmitter with the built-in mic if you want to, or you could add an additional wired lav to that transmitter. Now let's talk video. It is possible to get an application for your iPhone or your smartphone that then connects to a computer, and that's going to give you slightly better video quality than your native webcam, but it still doesn't look great. And Canon recently came out with an update for the majority of their current cameras that allows their cameras to connect as a webcam over USB to a laptop. I believe this is still a low resolution option, but the video quality looks much better than a built-in webcam as well. But if you want the highest quality possible, you're going to want to buy some sort of video capture device for your computer. Now, there are internal capture cards that can take multiple feeds in. Those can be a little bit more difficult to deal with. The easiest solution is an external USB HDMI capture card. Now, these things are sold out everywhere. It's very difficult to get one, and therefore I didn't buy one of the brand names that everybody loves. Shoe One, never heard of this in my life, but it has worked great, and it works very simply. They all seem to work about the same. You simply plug an HDMI cable into the card, and then a USB cable takes it to your computer. Your computer then recognizes it as a webcam, and you can use this feed in any application like Skype or Zoom or Facebook Live or Twitch. It doesn't matter. Now, to keep both your video and audio in sync while you're streaming, I recommend running your audio through your camera. So if you have a microphone, plug it into the camera itself rather than the capture card or rather than the computer. If you have a lav mic, same thing. This way you know for a fact that the feed coming out of the camera has perfectly synced audio and video. If you run them separately into an application, there's a very good chance it's going to be out of sync when you actually go live. Now, when you're looking to buy a streaming camera, keep in mind that you want one that has a clean HDMI signal out. You don't want one that's going to show all of the data that you can see on the back of your camera, like your shutter speed, ISO, white balance. You don't want that to show up in the feed. I'm currently using the Panasonic GH5, and it gives me the option in the menu to turn that information on or off. Obviously, while I'm streaming, I don't want to see all that data. I want it to be clean, so I have it turned off. So now you can go back to YouTube with this setup and choose your video source and your audio source as this capture card and stream with that, and you're gonna create a professional looking stream. But what if you wanna do more? What if you wanna do picture in picture, or you wanna stream a computer's display, or maybe you want multiple cameras? You're going to have to use some extra software to get this done. The most popular software for this right now is OBS, and it happens to be totally free. This software allows you to create multiple scenes with one or more sources at the exact same time. To stream via software like this on OBS, go to YouTube and click the Create a Video icon in the upper right and then go to Go Live. On this next screen, instead of clicking Webcam, click Stream. Fill out the new stream dialog and click Create Stream. YouTube will generate a stream key. Click Copy next to it and then go back to OBS and click on Settings and then Stream and paste the stream key into the provided box. Click OK and then click Start Streaming on OBS. OBS is now streaming to YouTube, but YouTube is not yet broadcasting it. After a few seconds, you'll notice the Go Live icon in the upper right will become active. Once you click it, you'll be live on YouTube. Now, many streamers use OBS or Streamlabs OBS, and it can be great software, especially if you're working at a desk like this. You could have multiple computers going. They could be right off screen. That could work great. But as you'll see in just one second, on the set that we wanted to film on, that wouldn't really work. So this is our living room set, and this is where we wanted to stream. And this would be a lot easier to pull off if each of us could have laptops in our laps, but we didn't want to be looking down the entire time with laptops, with cables running out of both sides. It would just not be a good look. So instead, what we've done is we've created a very simple looking set with a keyboard and mouse that I can easily control from my lap here. I've got a Surface Pro that allows us to switch all of our cameras right here in between us. And then Patrick over here has the option to hold an iPhone or an iPad, and he can control other things from that as well. Now, because of this strange set and the fact that we want to keep laptops off of our laps and we don't have some producer behind the scenes that can do all the switching for us, we're not easily going to be able to use software like OBS to do all of our picture-in-picture and switching between video sources. To pull this off, we purchased the ATEM Mini Pro, which is a video switcher, an HDMI capture card, and a streaming encoder all in one package, and it just costs $600. All of our video sources run into this switcher, and then we have the option to run the feed from the switcher into the laptop or stream directly from the switcher itself. That's currently what we've decided to do so that we can completely bypass all software. So from your perspective, everything looks nice and neat over here. Let's spin the camera around. Let me show you what it looks like from our perspective. Obviously, this is a work in progress here. We want to be able to mount the screens around our camera, but basically this gives us a view of all of our sources, and we can control a computer right here, and we can basically do anything over a distance from my seat right over there. The ATEM Mini Pro sits up here, and of course we have all the HDMI cables running back here, and there's an insane rat's nest behind this TV. And I was thinking, how can I easily show you guys our setup and schematic without completely blowing everyone's mind? And I thought, oh, I know, I'll just create a very simple diagram. So this is that very simple diagram. Now, I know this looks crazy, but don't worry, I think I can explain it very easily to you. So let's go through it piece by piece. First, let's start in the bottom right corner of the diagram. Both Patrick and I wear Rode wireless Go Lav mics. We like these mics because they're cheap and we can charge them with USB-C. The transmitters can be plugged in all the time, but the receivers will create a buzz if you keep them plugged in while you're filming. So we have to remember to unplug them before we film, and then when we're done, we plug them back in so they're ready and charged up for the next shoot. The mics run into a headphone splitter, and then that runs directly into our main camera, the GH5. Now here's the microphone that's running into the transmitter, and I've got the little transmitter device right off frame here. Normally you'd have the receiving device on the GH5 camera that's just across the room here, but I wanted to be able to control everything from my seat right here. So I have a long 3.5mm cable running across the ground here, and my receivers are actually right here in front of me. This allows me to turn them off and on and plug them in when we're done shooting, unplug them when we're about to start filming. And I also ran another 3.5mm cable from the headphone jack in the camera all the way to right here. So these monitors allow me to listen to the audio that's coming straight from our lav mics into the camera. I always put these on right before we go live just to make 100% sure that our audio sounds clean. Now you can run each video source directly into the ATEM Mini Pro, and then you can view each one of these sources on the multi-view screen that is outputted by this switcher. The problem is that we're sitting pretty far away from the screen and it's hard to see. We wanted to see each one of our video sources much larger. So what we've done is we've run each one of our video sources into an HDMI splitter, and then one side is going to an additional monitor, and the other side is going to the switcher. Our next video source is a laptop. From this laptop, I can play videos, search the web, and read live chats on YouTube. We could output both the video and audio from the laptop via HDMI into the ATEM Mini, but if we did, we wouldn't be able to hear it ourselves, and we wouldn't be able to easily control the volume. To deal with this, I have a video-only signal coming out of HDMI on the laptop into an HDMI splitter. One side of that is going to our large 65-inch TV so that I can see that from across the room. The other side is going into channel 2 on the switcher. And then I have audio coming out of the computer's headphone jack. I have that running into a splitter. One half of that is going to a speaker so that we can hear the videos that we're playing on the computer, and the other half is going into Mic Ntg on the back of the ATEM Mini Pro. Now, you may find with running all these cables through multiple different devices, you might pick up a hum or some sort of electronic hiss somewhere. This is caused by some sort of ground loop. We had a big problem with this because our laptop was exporting video and audio separately. It was creating some sort of electronic loop. To get rid of this sound, we found a 3.5 millimeter ground lift on Amazon. This fixed our problem completely. In the ATEM software, click on the cog in the bottom left and then click on the audio and then general tab. Here you'll need to change the mic 1 input to line in so it doesn't distort the audio from the laptop. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I can control this laptop with the Logitech K400R keyboard and mouse. I chose this one because it has the trackpad right here on the side. This makes things very easy to control. I can see it on this large 65-inch TV, which was shockingly only $400 at Walmart. Literally, the 65-inch TV, which was 4K, is significantly cheaper than the other two computer monitors that we have as well. So I may end up going back to Walmart and getting more of these. But from this distance, a 65-inch TV is about the same size as a laptop if it were sitting in my lap. The third video source we have is an Apple TV. Occasionally, we will use this to beam a photo or a video from our iPhones or iPads via AirPlay. Once again, we have an HDMI cable running into an HDMI splitter. One end goes to a monitor and the other end goes into channel 3 on the ATEM Mini Pro. At the moment, we're not even using a fourth video source, but we have that jack available for the future. Now, on the back of the ATEM Mini Pro, we have one more HDMI cable that's running out of the HDMI out jack. This is running into one additional monitor, and this gives us a multi-cam view. From this monitor, we can see all of our video sources at once. We can also see our audio levels, and we can see a preview screen, and we can see our broadcast screen on the right as well. For many of you watching at home, this may be all you need. You don't need all the splitters, you don't need the additional monitors, the TVs. You can just have one large monitor and you can see all your sources in one place. Now, one problem with the ATEM Mini Pro is that it does not have an audio jack output for monitoring the audio from the stream overall. What it does instead is it sends a video and audio signal out of that HDMI port. So make sure that you're using a monitor that has a headphone jack. If we plug in headphones to that monitor, we can listen to us. We can also listen to anything the computer might be playing or the Apple TV might be playing, but there is a pretty significant delay. So this isn't something that you can listen to throughout the entire show. It's not like you can listen to headphones to make sure everything's going well while you're streaming. That's not going to work. It's just to monitor audio before you go live, or it's for a producer to monitor audio if they're in another room completely running this entire show. Once again, I have run a cable all the way down here, and I've got another pair of headphones right here so that we can listen to this right before we go live, and we can check all of our audio sources to make sure everything's sounding good. The ATEM Mini Pro connects to the internet and your network via an Ethernet cable port on the back. This allows the board to stream to websites like YouTube directly, but it also allows additional computers to connect to the control board via the local network. Every computer in our office has the ATEM Mini Pro software installed, and all of them can control the board at the same time. Now, we have the ATEM software on every computer down here, including this Microsoft Surface Pro that I have on this table right here. So as I hit these buttons here, it's instantly changing all of my settings on the board. It's also changing my settings on all the applications that I have running as well. Let's take a look at the software. If we look at the main screen, we can switch between the cameras and customize green screen keys and add picture-in-picture. Under the media tab, we can add up to 20 still images. Under audio, we can control each individual source and add audio effects. Under the camera tab, you can control and color grade Blackmagic cameras. We actually purchased a Blackmagic Cinema Pocket 4K just to test out. We found that it was a little bit unreliable, so we ended up going back to our GH5. We thought the GH5 looked better, but it is a really cool idea, and if Blackmagic could make it a little bit better in the future, I might consider switching over to Blackmagic cameras just for live streaming. Now, to go live without using software like OBS, you can copy the stream key from YouTube and paste it under the Output tab. You can also connect an external hard drive to the ATEM Mini Pro with USB-C, and you can record your project locally. So if your internet drops out while you're recording, you could still save the file locally on this hard drive. You could also use this same port to connect the USB-C cable from the ATEM Mini Pro to a computer, and then you could use the ATEM Mini Pro as a webcam in a range of different applications like Zoom or Skype. If we want to get into a web conference, we can actually use this entire setup with our microphones, with the professional lighting, with the professional 1080p camera, and we don't have to change anything at all. We literally plug in one cable, open up the application, tell the application the webcam that we want to use is the ATEM Mini Pro, and boom, it just starts working. Now, I have only scratched the surface when it comes to what this hardware is actually capable of doing, and we could take things even further by using software like Streamlabs or vMix. We could run the board into a computer, and then with that software, we could add animations and overlays. There's so much we can do, and I am going to look into that in the future, but keep in mind, I mean, we're already kind of overloaded here. We're trying to be in the show, we're trying to switch cameras, we're trying to monitor audio, we're trying to read comments. There's already a lot to do, so I don't want to complicate things so much that there's just more that can go wrong. But I will end this video by showing you how we do our intro animation to each one of our live shows. This is kind of funny. So I've got two things open on my Surface Book here. One, I've got a Chrome page open with the Facebook Live interface. This is how we're going to go live. Then I've got the ATEM Mini Pro software. With the ATEM Mini software, I'm going to be able to transition from my computer, which will be playing that intro video, to us. And you can see here, if I hit auto, I have it set to a fade transition, so I can just transition back and forth here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set it to my computer. I am going to start playing our intro video here. It's going to start playing full screen. It's going to start counting down. I'm then going to go over here to YouTube and click Go Live. It's going to start going live. I then have to be quiet. And then at this point, I'm going to click Auto, and it's going to transition to me sitting on the couch. And then we have to do the opposite when it's time to close the show. We play another video, and then I will hit the auto button. It's going to transition the other way. As you can see, there's a lot that has to be done. There's a lot that can go wrong, and we have had this go wrong many, many times. So I'd love there to be an automated system. Maybe I can figure out how to do this with macros or something. But at the moment, we're doing this all manually. It's a pain in the butt, but we've figured out a way to make it work. Well, hopefully you have enjoyed this video on live streaming. All of the different pieces of gear are in the description below. Make sure that you're subscribed to our standard Fstoppers YouTube channel, as well as our all new Fstoppers Live YouTube channel. We're trying to keep those two things separate, so make sure that you're subscribed to both. We'll see you next time.